And joining us now on This is the Day is Terry Beatley, who's the founder and president of a Hosea Initiative and also author of What If We've Been Wrong, Keeping My Promise to America's Abortion King. Thank you so much, Terry, for being with us.
I'm happy to be here. Yep.
Let's start off with the Hosea Initiative. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that and how that all began.
Let's see. Well, the genesis of Hosea Initiative is due to a promise I made to Dr. Bernard Nathanson, who, as many of your listeners may know, he's the father of America's industry of abortion, who has a very compelling story of becoming pro-life and then Catholic. And the Lord opened the door for me to interview him on December 1st, 2009, which interestingly ended up being exactly 12 years to the day of the Supreme Court hearing the Dobbs decision.
Yeah.
And I made Dr. Nathanson a promise during this interview. At the end of the interview, I asked him if he had a message for America. And if so, I promised him to deliver it across our country until it became common knowledge. And so Hosea Initiative is a nonprofit educational apostolate, which is the vehicle for which we're getting that promise fulfilled.
Okay.
So it's a 501c3 based out of Virginia, but we have momentum all across the United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
And maybe if you could talk about the interview with Dr. Nathanson. What was that like? Any, things that, of course, there's shocking things throughout the interview, but maybe things that stood out to you as you were talking to him.
Well, I think most importantly for your listeners is to really understand who this man was, because what I've learned over the years is that even pro-life, frontline Catholic activists, very few really know the true legacy of Dr. Nathanson, and buried inside his legacy are, in my opinion, the tools of setting so many people free from the lies of the abortion industry, from the shame and the guilt that is attached to so many people who've been directly impacted by abortion, and for people who either have little to no faith. Nathanson's story, he's like the poster child for divine mercy.
Yeah.
So for me, what really impacted me during the interview, and it was just a 1-hour interview, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, more than anything, it was his remorse. At that point, 52 million babies had been aborted. And by that point, he now knew the connection between abortion and breast cancer. And he knew also this organization he had started, NARAL, Pro-Choice America, how they were stopping at nothing. Now parental rights had been eviscerated in many, many states. And he was just so, I write in my book that if remorse was tangible, I could have reached out and touched it. And but then the other most important thing is this question I asked him at the end of the interview: if you have a message for America, and if you tell me what it is, I promise to deliver it across our country. And that's when he said, teach the strategy of how I deceived America. It's basically an 8-point propaganda strategy. And then he said, and then tell America that the co-founder of NARAL says to love one another. Abortion is not love. Stop the killing. The world needs more love, and I'm all about love now. Wow. And it seared into my memory, and I remember reaching over and I shook his hand and I said, Dr. Nathanson, I'm going to get this job done. And the funny thing is, when I left, his wife escorted me to the door, and she winked her eye and she said, well, good luck on that promise, Terry. And the door slowly closed. And I remember standing in front of the store in Manhattan, New York, just staring at the door thinking, what have I just done? But God's good, because God has this masterful plan.
Yeah.
He's executing. As long as I don't quit, God just keeps moving it forward.
And talk about your work now too, and now in the post-Dobb era of things too, and what challenges are still out there and you're still facing.
Yeah, no, the challenges are huge, because now we have 50 fights, not just one. And the reason why I named the apostolate Hosea Initiative is after Hosea 4:6. My people perish for lack of knowledge. And that's what I was sharing with Cardinal O'Malley today, is that it's great that Roe v. Wade's overturned, but now we have 50 battles. And now And he was in complete agreement with this, that Dr. Nathanson's legacy is more relevant today than ever before. It not only leads people to the foot of the cross to receive Jesus Christ, it'll lead people toward healing. Truth heals. Truth heals. But the people have to know the truth. So no matter which way you shape or look at which angle, it's like not just like a dice, it's one of those that have like the multi-different angles. I don't know what you call that thing.
Yeah.
But no matter which way it lands, it could be science. Well, we've been told for 3 years, follow the science.
Yeah.
That's what atheist Dr. Nathanson did, and it led him right to becoming 100% unequivocally pro-life. Yeah. So I say, let's do what everybody's saying. Let's go follow the science and follow the tracks of Nathanson. So he's the gift that keeps giving. And so while many Catholics and hierarchy have put Nathanson's story on a shelf, Hosea Initiative has taken it off the shelf, and we're bringing it alive again. And so teenagers, so we have Hosea Great Life Teens, and I'm so happy to be able to share that even Cardinal O'Malley encouraged youth across America to get engaged with Hosea Great Life Teens.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much. There's so
You're
much
welcome.
to talk about. We didn't have too much time, but if people want to find out more about Hosea Initiative, where do they go? Where do they find out?
Go to hoseainitiative.org. So it's Hosea like the book in the Bible,
Okay,
Hosea, hoseainitiative.org. And greatlifeteens.org. We're one organization, 2 different websites.
That's great. Great work.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you for having
being
me.
with us.
Okay.